Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I got an early birthday present from the wife. So yeah, welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone had a good week. Wife and I have been out doing a little bit of shopping, and Lek was nice enough to buy me an early birthday present. I got these valve covers for the old big block. And of course, got to go with the chrome. I don't know. Cliche or not, I love things that are shiny. Whee! Look at that. Man, does that shine. Hey, looking good. I love that Mopar blue. Just like the engine. A little brighter, but this is actually the true Mopar block Chrysler blue that's on there. So yeah, those covers, they definitely look nice. They definitely set that off. It's going to look real good once I get intake and carburetor on, and I'll get a nice chrome dome there to hold down the air filter. She's still a long ways to go before she's running, but it is getting closer to running because I'm kind of working up a scheme here. So also for the last while here, I got the old 727 Torque Flight. She is a 3-speed variety, push button shift, if those of you that remember. And I got it brought in here, unwrapped, thawed out, dried out. Checked the oil, still good, not a drop of water in her, which is perfect. But I got myself a dilemma. I really want to run this engine. I want to complete this engine and have it running on the stand before I mate these two together and shove it inside that car. You know, it's going to be nothing worse than the amount of time it takes to get that in there situated, hooked up, and find out I did something stupid and I either got a big leak or I got a major problem or something has happened along the way. But the big issue with that is the starter mounts to the side of the engine, and the ring gear for the starter is mounted to the torque converter that goes into the transmission. Now, I do think I may have a solution to fix a lot of things all at the same time. The first thing is I have no idea what kind of condition this transmission is in. Now, the oil is clean. It doesn't smell burnt, nice and red, doesn't appear to have any water in it. But this thing's been sitting for 40 years, so all that oil has sat down to the bottom, leaving metal and other components exposed. Is it an issue? I don't know. You see those resurrection videos where they start cars up and run them after they've been sitting for 20, 30 years and transmissions operate fine. But I'd really like to know how this thing's going to perform before I mount it to that and before I stuff it in there. So, yesterday, picked myself up a 1-horsepower electric motor. Now, this might be crazy, but this is what I'm thinking. I got a keyed 5/8 shaft here, and this is my flex plate that connects the engine to the transmission for the power. Back of the crank, bolts onto here, these 4 bolts on the outside attached to the torque converter. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting an adapter plate made that'll mount to the flex plate. I'll actually have to put it on backwards, not a big deal. And then have that adapter got a shank on it that will accept this 5/8 shaft for the motor. And then I'll build a crossbar, 2 of them that go from one side of the transmission to the other to brace this motor to. I can plug it in. I got an on-off switch. That motor's good for, I think, 1700 or 1800 RPM. And this transmission turns over pretty easy by hand. It definitely doesn't take a 1 horsepower to turn it over. And I can get this thing spinning, fill it up with juice, run my tranny lines for the cooling, one out, one into a bucket, get that fluid circulating, and then hook up the shift linkage to the side and see if I can get this thing to actually work. Now, I do know that sounds like a bunch of work, but I tell you, I think it's a lot less work to find out that it actually works here than putting it on there and getting into the car and finding out that I don't have a good transmission. Now, if this electrical motor idea does work, there's something else that can be done, because this and that came out of the car as one, easily. There's a lot of room. There's quite a bit of room in here to do that. So if this is complete, and I know that works, there's no reason why I can't mate both of these together, put the engine and transmission on a pallet, and have this thing running out of the car. And to me, that's worth a couple weeks work, like easy work out in the open here on the ground, proving this combination before I throw it in that car. Now, as for the metal work going on in the car here, I haven't got a whole lot further. I went through, gave her a good coat of primer. I did some body work, some primer, a little more body work, and this is just kind of finishing off. And this will be, once this is sanded down and primed again, that'll be the final coat until I'm ready to completely do the whole car. But I have gone through. I made some progress on the other side here. I've got all that old metal cut out, everything taken out back to the tub, and I also got all my framework chewed out there. All I got left is this little rusty piece, which is holding my shape down in the corner. So just like I did on the other corner, I've had this all cut out, and I've gone in here, and I've all rebuilt it again. This is all rust completely gone. I got my side here cut out, getting ready to accept my new panel. Now, I do got to get some angle iron, some small angle iron, 1 inch by 1 inch, to make my little frame inside there, just like I did on the other side. And then I'll be ready to weld this in. And just like the other side, panel, of course, goes in here. Once this is all tacked in and held in good, using this corner for my shape, the very bottom of this, there's nothing left to it. It's just rust. I'll be cutting this off, leaving about a 1/2 inch of material, cut that right off, and then I'll get that wedge piece that I'll weld in there again, and that'll finish it off just like the other side. But I did rebalance or reshim the car side to side. Got her perfectly level and plumb, so I can take my measurements from the floor up on both sides to make sure that I match my new panel, because what I'd done is what was left to that one, which is, there was the majority of it, I did those measures as best I could to move over to here, and then once this was complete and I was happy with it, it looked good, then I cut that all away, and then I'll mirror what I did here onto the other side, using the same templates, and hopefully, you know, even if there's a little bit of a difference in the body line, it'll be identical to both sides, and you won't really notice. Now, I have managed to keep my wheel well perfectly in line with the front. You can see it just disappears there, right behind it. I got the exact shape coming out that I needed to, which I'm happy, turned out great. And also, opening it up and continuing that curve all the way down and around turned out really good as well. But this is the short video, and that's all I got for you. Just gonna hang out here by the fire for a few more minutes, edit a few other videos, and I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for stopping by. Subscribers are greatly appreciated, and a thumbs up is always loved. Hope you guys have a great week. Catch you again later.